to them. These are, an employee can choose these. There's no rate that goes specific with the type of employee they are. It's based on their own personal needs, like what their salary is, what their age is, what their, different things. So there's not a cost that I can say. And then, for example, for, flexible spending plan and health savings plan, there's a limit to what someone can put in. But that's based on what the employee wants to put in if they do. So we have flexible spending, health savings plan, and the italic is behind it. That is the company that provides that service for us. We have voluntary term life insurance, which is provide one that's permanent portable insurance for them. We have disability insurance, critical illness insurance. We have 403B and 457 retirement plans available to them. And then we have district paid insurance that's available to everyone. It's no cost to them. We provide employee assistant programs. It's a 24/7 program for them to get any kind of care that they need, mental health, and wellness. Fiber RX is available for them for their prescription needs, and then we also have term life insurance that the district provides a $15,000 policy for every employee, and that's through Sun Life. So at this time, I'm going to ask mine. I'm sorry?
Is the cost for the things that the district pitches in on, are those on here somewhere? Like the employee assistance and Fiber RX?
How much it costs for us? We'll get that.
I saw on your timeline slide, it says you got to meet with consultants in January, February. Who are the consultants? Is that the current company that we use, or do you have outside consultants that give us?
No, our consultant is at FGA.
Okay.
So we meet with them.
And I think I heard you say it's not always based on the lowest cost and it's best insurance, but how do you guys know that? I guess what I'm leading to is, when's the last time we went out for bid and not talked directly to, maybe it's a great thing about that, when's the last time we didn't talk to our current consultant provider and got an outside opinion?
That's a great question. What we do is, throughout the year, let me just start this way, throughout the year, we are in constant contact with employees. We as our benefit specialists, these are payrolls. So if employees have questions, or if they have concerns, or they have anything, they contact our payroll department. And so that lets us know, okay, we're not hearing from you. We don't go with what information we have, right? So if we are hearing that, okay, perhaps someone's not happy with this dental plan, we keep that in our mind, and we're thinking like that. Do we go with that? No, we are in an agreement with FFGA. So, but we have been with FFGA for many years now.
You know what that means? Because that's kind of, I asked that several times. Before you were here, I never got an answer about how long you've been with FFGA.
I apologize. We'll have that.
Decades?
No, not decades. And I think once we have the presentations, a lot of these questions, they're great questions.
Thank you.
I think they're going to be addressed then. So Mark, I'm going to ask you to come up, and I'll come over here and start the presentation.
I tend to like to move around, so I'm going to try to use the mic. So, Monica Letterman, I'm a managing director with Higginbotham Public Sector. Higginbotham Public Sector is a specialty practice within the company of Higginbotham. We exclusively serve public sector entities. So currently we serve as the consultant and third-party administrator for approximately 550 plus school districts and 14 or 15 of the state educational service centers. So presentation here tonight, I understood we're needing to keep it to about 20 minutes and then allow time for questions. So it is really sticking to the agenda that was sent, but as was said earlier, please, ask any questions as we're going along. So one of the points that we were asked to cover was kind of like, what do we do when we're looking at a group's benefits program, whether that's an existing client or whether that's a new client. Process. And you do your research. We review current benefits, we look for gaps, we look for outdated plan designs. We've got carriers who come to us all the time and show, hey, we've increased the benefits in this plan, or because of changes in medical insurance and and higher deductibles and everything that we see, we've seen a need for XYZ, and we've now put that into our plan. So we're always looking at what is out there new on the market. Also, we want to know your competition. So you're surrounded by school districts, you're surrounded by cities. I mean, goodness gracious, in the area that you're at, you've got private sector groups. All of y'all are competing for the same talent, not only getting that talent, but retaining that talent. So we're going to want to make sure that your benefits package is competitive. Certainly, for educators, teachers, that you're offering benefits that are competitive with what surrounding districts are offering you. So just quickly looking through some of the things that you currently offer, and you've got a couple of examples here. Your Unum Disability Plan. Based on what's posted on the website, it doesn't have a benefit for pre-existing conditions. This is a big deal. It's so common for teachers to change districts over the summer. We have a predominantly female population a lot of times with teachers. A lot of times young teachers may be expecting when they're changing districts. It's a really nice thing to know that when they go out on maternity leave within that first year that they're with their new district, that they have some amount of disability benefit. So in your educator disability plan, you can get either 4 weeks up to 90 days of pre-existing condition benefits. Now, depending on your claims experience, reserve levels with your carrier, sometimes it doesn't even cost that much extra, if anything, to add a benefit for pre-existing conditions. I've literally had teachers during open enrollment, new chief teachers, tell me, I came to this district because I saw that I could give maternity benefits during this first year, and I'm going to go out in October or November on maternity leave, and the other district I was looking at, their policy, they didn't have that. So that's a big deal. Also, your hospital indemnity plan. Every year, we look at rising deductibles, rising out-of-pocket maximums. A lot of people on high deductible plans, they can't necessarily afford to put a significant amount of money into an HSA that would really make a difference if they had something catastrophic happen to them and they had to go into the hospital. A lot of times they prefer to buy a policy that's going to help with that gap. Even people that participate in the primary plus your copay type plans, a lot of them, they go into the hospital and they haven't met their deductible. It's a big expense. I know not this last summer, but the summer before last, I, at my age, had an appendicitis. Went into the hospital. I was barely in the hospital 24 hours, had my appendix taken out. I absolutely hit and exceeded my $6,000 out-of-pocket maximum. Wiped out my HSA account. Thank you. So, hospital indemnity plans. You've got one currently, but if you look at the lowest or out-of-pocket maximum on TRS Active Care, it's $6,900. Now that's on Primary Plus. That's also your most expensive premium for employees. Your current hospital plan pays an admission benefit of $500 for regular hospital admission and $1,000 for ICU. Pays a daily benefit of $100 or $200, depending on whether you're just in regular confinement or in ICU. So take a 24-hour hospital confinement like I had, can easily add up to $6,900. So on a non-ICU, the current plan would pay $600 to the claimant, leaving a bill of $6,300. That's a big gap. So when we look at a plan like that, we're going to try to come up with a plan that can narrow that down. Maternity-related claims account for approximately 64% of the claims on a hospital indemnity plan. So maternity benefits, also very important. Your current plan pays a $25 newborn care benefit for a maximum of 2 days. It also doesn't pay any benefits for observation. How many times do we hear about people going into the hospital, you get a wristband on, they tell you to go sit back in the waiting room, and that's what you do, you wait. You wait, you wait, you wait. And you never actually do get admitted into the hospital where that admission benefit would kick in. So a lot of your hospital indemnity plans now, knowing that that happens, offer benefits for observation. If you're in observation for under 20 hours, you never actually get admitted, you at least get a benefit for spending some time there. Your accident plan, there's not a whole lot of variation on accident plans. Y'all do have a sports rider for organized sports for youth. That's great because a lot of the people that enroll in your accident plans are, their kids are in football, baseball, competitive cheer. But one of the riders that has come onto the scene within just the last couple of years is a personal sports benefit rider. Personal sports, hiking. I'm a skier. Snow skiing. Actually broke my ankle 2 years ago. First time in 55 years of skiing that I actually had an accident. Pickleball. Weightlifting. Any personal sport, if you incur an injury related to that sport, you could be out walking in the neighborhood and trip in a pothole and sprain your ankle. You were out doing something related to personal physical activity sport and could get an increased benefit on the accident plan. So like on the accident plan, I just recommend, you've already got the youth sport rider, I would look to add a personal sports rider for non-organized sports, and one that we adults can then take advantage of as well.
We're ready yet, so you just need to go back.
Awesome. Also, one size doesn't necessarily fit all. So we try to work with plans that can be scalable, that can be customizable, based on what your employees are looking for, based on what kind of claims are being made. Not just a standard plan that you would necessarily see in every other location. Some will be, but we do try to work with plans that we can customize the benefits to fit your employees. And of course, always ask questions. Does the district have a strategy or a goal for its benefit program? If so, is your program working you towards that goal? Is your strategy in motion and being accomplished? If not, why is it being hindered? What might we need to do? Just like Stacy was saying, have employees asked about different products not currently being offered? Have they provided feedback, both good and bad, as to current products, maybe carriers? Maybe somebody's very slow to file claims or to process claims, or they're always getting denied. Are there problems with your existing carriers? We also look what your employees like a choice. So right now, in the plan, you have a PPO that has ortho, and you have a DHMO, and a DHMO is in-network only. It's a fee-for-service type plan. There's a significant difference between a PPO and a DHMO. Me personally, I don't care for DHMOs. I know that a lot of employees enroll in them. I personally don't like them. I like choice. In your dental, I'd look to maybe offer a second PPO option that doesn't have ortho to give employees who don't need that ortho benefit the freedom of a PPO plan, but with a lower cost.
But when you're going through it, can you say out the acronyms in case people don't know what they are on the level?
Sure. BPO preferred provider organization, and the DHMO is a dental health maintenance organization. So our bid process. So at Higginbotham, we're 100% independent. We're employee-owned. We don't have any affiliation with any insurance carrier. We're actually contracted with 200-plus carriers. And when we put benefits out to bid, we have an electronic bid system. We put benefits out to bid with the market. Now, first, of course, we're going to gather data. The more data you can gather, the better your bid process is going to go. So we're going to get claims history and renewal histories, reserve levels, if it's that type of a coverage, as much data as we can get. That typically takes about 1 to 2 weeks, depending on how quickly the carriers respond. Some carriers respond super fast. I mean, I can send them an email and put in a data request in the morning, and by that afternoon, I've already got all the information I need. Other carriers, it can take longer. Some carriers may not really want to cooperate at all, and then you do the best that you can do. Put it out to bid in that electronic bid system. I like to keep bids out for about 3 weeks to give carriers an ample time to respond. Contact me, ask questions. If anybody is requesting any additional type of data, maybe to try to get that for them. But 3 weeks, you can get a really good response. 4 weeks, everybody's just going to push off, procrastinate 1 week, just like your employees probably do with open enrollment. You have a bunch that do it right away, and then pretty much everybody else does it the last couple of days enrollment's open. So 3 weeks is a good time frame. Then we sit and analyze it. We put it all into a spreadsheet. We do side-by-side comparisons. I say it can take 1 to 1.5 weeks because carriers can be notorious about not answering all the questions. Or having one thing in the written proposal, but they enter another thing in the spreadsheet. So it's getting those types of things cleared up. And a lot of times what I'll do is pick the top 2 to 3 carriers in a product and let them have a best and final opportunity. So you let them know, hey, you're one of 3 carriers, you're one of 2. Look at your bid, and if this is the best you can do, then it's the best you can do. If not, if you want plan benefits, if you want to lower your premium, you want to add another year onto the rate guarantee, it's your choice. I don't want you to buy the business. I don't want you to slash it just so you get it. You're getting a big rate increase. I want you to feel solid on your bid, but you've got 24 hours to make any changes. Haven't ever done that process where something didn't come back better than what it was originally submitted. I don't even think I'm using this. Because of the number of public sector entities we represent, with several carriers, we actually have our own underwriting team, so they know.
There's people online watching. Can you use the microphone? Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry.
There you go.
We actually have our own underwriting teams with those underwriters knowing what we are looking for, knowing what we are expecting to receive. We get favorable underwriting guidelines, a lot of times favorable pricing because of the level of service that we provide, knowing that employees are going to be calling carriers asking for assistance, that we're going to be doing a lot of that for them, and just that volume and everything, we can get typically very extended rate guarantees, 3 to 4 years. Granted, some of your plans like cancer, accident, hospital indemnity, once they're in place, a lot of times rates rarely change, even though they may put a 3 or 4 year rate guarantee on it. But at least you do know for those 3 to 4 years, those prices definitely aren't going anywhere. Then we present all those good results to the client. So we want them to see everything that we see. It can be super overwhelming to plot down a monstrous spreadsheet on somebody and start flipping through all the pages. So what I do is I summarize it into a presentation. How many carriers bid, who bid, what's the recommendation, how the plan is different, what are the enhancements, what's the rate guarantee, how do the rates compare. So I'll have that on recommendations. We'll go through the presentation, but then the client gets everything. So they can see everyone who bid, not just who's being recommended, the rankings of those carriers, and then because we are paid on the back end from carriers through standard commissions, complete transparency with all the commission percentages, and the structure of those commissions. Is it a level commission? Is it heaped first year and then significantly less year 2 and beyond? But how all of that is laid out. And then also, Stacy talked about the process of sitting down with First Financial every year. Well, we do the same thing. So each year between February and March, we typically request our renewals from our carriers for our groups before the holidays. And then we start getting them back towards the end of December, January. Between February and March, we're meeting with our groups to discuss the renewals, to bid or not to bid. That is the question. Every year, you get 15% rate increase. Well, based on claims experience, based on the market, based on the time that you've been with this particular carrier, do we think that we're going to really be able to mitigate a rate increase based on the claims, based on the data? Is that amount of mitigation going to be worth possible disruption? People having to change providers. What is that going to look like? So we sit down and we make that determination. Do we bid or do we stay? What do you want us to do? Again, we'll have recommendations, but they're your benefits. They're your employees. So it's always your final choice. Also, we talk about changes in the market. Have we seen basic life rates go down to where even though you're not getting an increase in your basic life rate, just because the market seems to be going down, let's take it out to bid. Let's see if we can get your rate down as well. That's an employer paid benefit. Let's see if we can save you money. We're also going to talk about new products and different plan designs that we've seen come out during the last year. Again, if you're interested in it, that's great. If you're not, it's your decision. But we're going to go through that every single year so you can make the best decision for your employees and their family members. Special enrollment events. There was a question on if you could have an offering of a product outside of open enrollment. So if the district would find a product that was not available, not offered during open enrollment, but did want to offer it to their employees, actually had one of my groups do this just this last fall since open enrollment. We can do that. We can facilitate a special enrollment event and open up the system for that benefit only, so employees can either decide if they want to participate in that benefit or waive it. So recommendations. You really offer a very complete benefit package. There aren't a whole lot of other things out there. I mean, there's always, you can offer identity theft or legal, but it's not, those benefits aren't highly participated in. The types of benefits that employees most frequently enroll in, for the most part, you are offering. From my recommendation would just be updating some plan designs to get them more current, to get them competitive, again, with your surrounding districts. One benefit that I don't see that you're currently offering that has become very popular is emergency medical transportation. I'll actually have a slide on that towards the end of the presentation. But emergency medical pays the cost remaining after medical insurance has paid whatever it's going to pay for ambulance transportation. Great example I like to use. There's a gentleman in our office. He's super accident prone. I mean, he is having accidents all the time. A couple of years ago, he was hiking with his daughters in Washington State. They're up hiking on these trails. He literally falls off the mountain. Dislocates his hip. He's down, far off the trail, dislocated hip. His oldest daughter ran down to the bottom, told him what happened. So they sent a helicopter up, got him in the helicopter, took him down to the base, put him in an ambulance, took him to the hospital. He got a bill for all of that for almost $20,000.
And then
That's devastating. I mean, I think that would devastate most of us to get that type of a bill. You know, my son dislocated his knee and had to take an ambulance ride when he was going to A&M. And I got a $1,300 bill, and I'm barely devastated about that. But with MASA, you turn in that bill, and they pay 100% of the balance remaining. Super easy. So that is a plan that I would recommend maybe taking a look at. Another benefit is actually an employer-paid benefit, and it's called the Next Level Prime. Next Level Urgent Care. They're in the area. They provide a benefit called Next Level Prime. It's almost like buying a fitness club membership, but it's like a membership to the urgent care facility. Now, the employer pays it for all benefit-eligible employees, and it's $40 per employee per month. The employee then can buy up, if they want to, an additional $20, and that covers their spouse and any of their eligible dependent children. When they go to Next Level Prime, they can get primary care services, urgent care, wellness coaching, and emotional wellness. Now, personally, I think that this type of benefit provides a bigger bang for your buck than just adding another $50 maybe to the medical contribution towards TRS Active Care. Because even though maybe $50 less comes out of their paycheck, and if it's even $50 because of the pre-tax of the insurance, when that employee goes to the doctor because they're sick or injured, they're still going to have to pay co-pays, or they're still going to have to pay the cost of that visit if they're on a high deductible plan. With Next Level Prime, they don't have any cost. They can go and get all those services and not pay a dime out of pocket. That really makes a big impact for the employee, other than, and I don't want to belittle $50 off on your medical insurance, but if you're really looking to reduce out-of-pocket, that really helps the employees with their out-of-pocket costs. The other thing it does is if you continue in the investigation of deciding, you know, is this the year that maybe we jump out of TRS Active Care, everything that happens at Next Level Prime doesn't hit your claims experience. So it helps lower your claims, getting your loss ratios in a better position for that time that maybe you do opt in. Hey, we seriously want to look at opting out of TRS Active Care. You've got less claims. You can have a better experience trying to get out and maybe get some more favorable rates, because all of those rates, or all of those claims, have been pushed over into Next Level Prime.
The employee buy-up is $20 per month, but the $40 is one time or monthly?
Per employee per month.
Oh, sorry.
EEP.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's district contribution.
Yes, sir. Yes, that is an employer-paid benefit.
Now that emotional wellness piece, this is just my ignorance on this. Is that psychiatric care?
Depending on the level, psychiatrical, could be psychology. You know, could be some counseling, would depend on the need. So, I took a couple of your benefits that I didn't need to have claim experience, can't really go bring alternatives on dental or disability or life insurance because I don't have access to your claims history. So I did just a couple, quick little quote with 3 of our very competitive carriers. I did hospital indemnity, oh gosh, blank. Let's just talk about hospital indemnity first. So currently, your hospital plan is with MetLife, and here are the different plan benefits. So hospital admission, how often do you get it, your daily hospital, daily ICU, and then some other benefits. So currently with MetLife, $500 admission, $1,000 if it's ICU. So we have Lincoln who quoted a single plan option just like we currently have. Chubb actually quoted a high-low, so give employees choice. Cigna, again, quoted just a single plan option. So all of them have a higher admission benefit. On Lincoln, you can get 4 hospital admissions per insured member on the plan, 1 ICU per year. Chubb does 3 for both hospital admission and ICU. You see the high plan really offers a significantly higher benefit, $2,000 and $4,000. Hospital daily confinement, matching on Lincoln and Cigna. Chubb matches on the low plan, bumps it up to $200 on the high option. The daily ICU, you can see there. Again, go back to, remember, approximately 64% of your hospital indemnity plans are for maternity. So here we have maternity-related benefits. So your current plan, 25 per day up to 2 days. Here, 500 a day, 500 a day, 500 a day, up to 2 days. So $1,000 versus $50. Also, and I honestly am not sure about how your current plan handles NICU, but in Lincoln's plan, one thing I really like about their plan is if a baby is put into the NICU, you do get the hospital admission benefit, you do get the daily confinement benefit, but then they actually increase it by 25% because NICU is so expensive. So they actually have a little example here. You have 2,500 plus the 250, which is the 25% increase, starting on day 2, so 15-day NICU stay comes out to getting $6,250. The other carriers, they don't, Chubb and Cigna, they don't do the multiplier. They don't increase it by 25%, but if the baby's put into NICU, then they do get the ICU admission benefit and then the daily ICU confinement as well. Nice thing about this is children, newborns, covered at no cost for the first 30 days. So the mom or the dad, whoever the employee is, as long as they're enrolled in employee-only coverage, when the baby's born, they get the maternity benefits.
Ms. Logan,
Yes.
is this one of the examples of other districts in our area have something like this in place?
Yes.
Because this speaks to my heart. I mean, we got gouged in our last child, probably all 3 of them, but this would have made a massive impact in ours. But you're saying that other districts around here have something like this, so we're not the bar currently?
Yes, so we're a part of it. We have one.
But not to the level of what she's talking about. $25 a day compared to like the 500, just on that alone.
And then here's just a couple of the other benefits. Remember I talked about observation. Now, Lincoln didn't get observation. Chubb does $500, 2 days per year per insured member. If you're you're banded, but not ever actually admitted. You spend 20 hours or less. So they did include those benefits. Everybody put in a wellness benefit, but notice the difference in premiums. So on Chubb, where you have a high-low, your people that want to stay with the low plan get higher benefits at a cheaper cost. And if somebody wants to buy up to an even higher level of coverage, you know, they're going to pay more, but at least anyone who doesn't want to pay any more out of pocket still gets increased benefits. But all of these quotes are solid. Now, if y'all would make a change and transition to us, this was just a quick quote. I would competitively bid everything still. But if those carriers wanted to stick to that bid, I mean, you know, that is a solid bid.
On something, I know you probably just did it since we've come up with this idea last week, but on, like for Lincoln, where it says NA, if you had more time, is that something you could negotiate out with those carriers to offer?
That's part of that investment requirement.
Okay, that's what I'm looking at.
You know, that is an opportunity on the best and final for them to change and throw that in and hold rates or, you know, whatever. Another plan I did is the cancer plan. Now, one thing I really want to point out, cancer plans have a gazillion benefits. I just picked a couple here to go over. But you do currently have a low and high plan offering with your cancer plan. Honestly, our best cancer plan that we work with right now is through Chubb. I think one of the most significant differences is in the radiation chemotherapy or treatment benefit. Chubb pays that benefit in a lump sum after the first treatment is received. So, you know, employees going through cancer, they have a loved one going through cancer, super stressful time. A lot of plans, and plans that we have as well, you know, the employee, the policyholder has to file those ongoing claims, or they keep their bills and they file one massive claim at one point. Well, one of the biggest benefits that's paid out is that treatment benefit. So with the Chubb plan, they have their first chemotherapy, first radiation, first treatment session. They file the claim, they get that full $10,000 or that full $15,000 right off the bat. That can make a big difference when people are struggling during that time. First occurrence benefits, you know, that amount that's paid upon the diagnosis of cancer. Chubb actually calls it a diagnosis of cancer benefit, not a first occurrence, because if someone's diagnosed with, say, lung cancer, they can get that $2,500 benefit, but maybe 5 years down the line, they're diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. They can actually get that diagnosis benefit again. A lot of plans, it's first occurrence, one and done. Your surgical benefits, a little bit higher in the Chubb plan. Wellness benefits, one higher, one lower. Heart attack and stroke, critical illness rider. Your low plan currently doesn't pay a benefit for that. Your high plan pays $5,000. Here the low plan pays $2,500. High plan pays $5,000. Plus it pays a reoccurrence benefit as well. Pays reoccurrence at half of the original amount. Anesthesia is typical, 25% of your surgery benefit. That's very, very standard. Hormone therapy, reconstructive therapy, bone marrow, how those benefits lined out. I know I'm probably starting to run out of time. Some unique benefits, so I'm going to kind of go a little bit quicker. Unique benefits, recovery at home. So this is not home health care. This is not having somebody come into your home, licensed person that you're paying at home. This is simply recovery at home. You don't need to be in the hospital. You don't need to be in a rehabilitation center. You don't need to be in any kind of nursing facility. You are just recovering at home. And we will pay a benefit for that. National Cancer Institute evaluation consultation. They'll review all your tests and your diagnosis and the protocols that the doctors set up and give you a determination whether that's the best course of treatment. Heritable cancer screening, where you can do a cheek swab and see if your genetic makeup is predisposed to any type of cancer. Personally, I don't want to do that. I don't want to know. Ignorance is bliss. Sometimes. I just want to live every day that the Lord gives me. Pharmacogenic screening. Say that 5 times. Not everyone's body responds to chemotherapy the same way. So many times you hear people that went through a treatment protocol and the doctor's like, oh, man, I'm just sorry. Your body just didn't respond. I don't know why. So you can actually do this pharmacogenomic screening and it will tell you based on what type of cancer you have, what the most effective medications will be for your genetic makeup. So that's pretty cool. Counseling, again, very stressful time for the family members, for the person who's going through the treatment, so they offer counseling. And also they throw in a benefit called Kindly Human. That is not going to a psychologist or a psychiatrist. That's talking to someone who has been in your shoes, whether you're the spouse, whether you're the child of a parent who has cancer, and you just talk to a trained listener who can just be empathetic and just, maybe you need to vent a little bit. Man, I'm exhausted, but, my husband or my spouse, whatever, I'm taking care of them and the kids, and oh my gosh, it's just somebody to talk to when you feel like there is no one to talk to. And then here are Chubb's rates. They propose the rates 2 different ways. Your current plan has 2-tier rates. I personally prefer 4-tier. I was a single parent for almost 10 years, and just covering kids on insurance. 4-tier rates typically are going to provide a savings for the employee spouse tier as well as the employee children tier of coverage. It does increase the family tier a little bit, but like I said, for just employee spouse, employee children, you're going to get a little bit of a break typically. So you can see the premiums quoted for those plans both ways. Here's that emergency transportation benefit. Carrier is massive. You can offer dual options. There are Emergent Plus and Emergent Premier plans. There's no network, so it doesn't matter whether it's a fire department, a hospital, private EMS, who's taking you, who's transporting you, because there are no networks. The Emergent Plus is coverage in the continental United States and Canada, provides emergency ground and air, hospital-to-hospital transport and repatriation to a hospital near your home. The Emergent plan includes all the benefits of the Emergent Plus, but its coverage is extended to Canada, Mexico, the Caribbean, Bermuda, and the Bahamas. They kind of focus it on popular vacation spots. It also includes then post-admission, continued care, transportation, sick while away from home, minor return. Maybe you're on vacation and something happens, you've got to stay there in the hospital, but you want to get your kids back to maybe your mom, their grandparents or something. It will pay for that transportation. Or your pets. Maybe you're traveling with your pets. And you're in the hospital, but you want to get your transportation as well. It's really an inexpensive benefit. The payout, if you actually file a claim, It can be an employee or voluntary. You can have composite rates, employee only or family, and you see for the emergent, if it's an employer paid benefit, it's $7 or $17. If it's voluntary, if it's a composite rate, it's $14. For the employee, if they do the split rates, employee only $8, family $17, and then the same rates for the higher level of coverage. But just in a short period of time, those are just some of the things that I looked at, that I would recommend, say that you ought to consider. Thank you so much for inviting me here, allowing me to do this, to go through this little exercise. It is me and my husband's 13th wedding anniversary today. I told him that it could be a cool date night. Why don't you just have it? And he was like, anyway, but if there's anybody else,
It's also my 13th wedding anniversary, so my wife is a little bit less enthused than you are, but not here today, but that's the way. Thanks for scheduling today.
Chelsea and.
We do have some questions. I have some questions. Can you talk a little bit more about what the enrollment process looks like for staff? Do you come out here? Is there a website? What does that look like?
So we, have an employee benefits website, that's loaded up very similar to what you have currently. It's got all your plan summaries, plan certificates, videos. Most of the videos are animated, because even adults will tune into a cartoon much longer than they'll listen to a real person talk and explain something. So we have animated videos, claim forms, provider searches, all that kind of stuff on the benefits website. We have a benefits app that we create for every group, so it can consolidate all of your benefits on one app on your phone. Everything that's on that benefits website is also on the app. You can have your provider, your ID card, your dental cards, your vision cards, all that stuff, everything on an app. If you like to do things on your phone, you got really good eyesight, you can do your enrollment on your app. Enrollment, y'all know your employees. You know what they respond to. We can, we'll work with you to create a communication campaign that will reach your various demographics. Some of those might be text messaging, some might be emails, some might be little tabletop things in break rooms or posters or mailers or postcards that go out. We've got a wide range of materials. We're very, very big on education. Because when your employees understand their benefits, they understand them individually, and they understand how they can all work together, they're typically much happier with their benefits. So again, we're going to work to customize your materials, what your enrollment process looks like. Do you want on-site meetings? Do you want virtual meetings? Do you want me to do a recorded presentation? Do you want English and Spanish? Do you want on-site Spanish benefit presentations, and then coming out, meeting with employees. Some employees don't want to meet with us. They're very comfortable doing it on their own, or we have a benefits care line that is open 5 days a week, 8 to 5. That's not just during open enrollment, but that's all year round. The exact same attention and assistance they would get sitting, as we call it, kneecap to kneecap at a table. They can get talking to somebody at that benefits care line. And maybe it's not convenient for them to come to whatever location we're at, or maybe they're on vacation or away for some reason. They can't get here, they can call that benefits care line. Of course, we give our cell phones, or at least I do, cell phone. Employees can text me, call me, email me. I've done enrollments on Saturdays, Sundays. We just, again, do what needs to be done and work with the district to provide a schedule that will accommodate, the vast majority of your demographic. Then, of course, enrollment closes and all of the EDI files go out to carriers, and, then all the services that start right after that kick in, your monthly billing and bill reconciliation and ongoing support.
And is that part of the benefits administration, like COBRA or whatever those, I don't know all the acronyms, but just pick them up and do those things, benefit administration?
We do the COBRA administration, Section 125 administration, HRA administration. Currently, we work with a couple of different financial institutions on our HSA administration. However, in January 2026, we'll be able to bring HSA administration back in-house as well.
So on your slide, you said you guys support over 550 districts in Texas, and if Google's correct, we have 1,207 total districts, so you guys are approximately half the state.
Yes.
That's about right. In your opinion, why do companies choose you? Is it safe to assume you guys are the largest provider to districts?
I believe we are.
And if so, like, why do you think, if it's, price may be a factor, but what are the top reasons you think people will go with you guys?
What's that tick them off so far?
Yeah.
I personally think it's service. And we have, like everybody, has a group leave and a group come back. I haven't ever had a group come back or heard of a group coming back saying, man, y'all's benefits were so much better than what we had. It's always, we did not get the service from the other company that, we were getting with y'all, whether it's the dedicated service team, the consolidated billing and monthly bill reconciliation, the servant heart that, I think we all bring into our groups. It's always service, the reason that they come.
In terms of the actual, the insurance side of it, I think you guys had listed 200 plus carriers. Are some of those going to be overlap with companies like FFGA? And if, I'm assuming that's the case, but are there any that are unique to you guys, y'all have access to, that maybe other other providers don't? It's all...
Not that I know of. And FFGA is not a carrier. They're
Right, but they can quote, I guess I'm saying that they can quote on the same 200 plus, right, that you guys can quote.
if they're contracted with them.
Gotcha. So that's my question. So there could be some that you guys are contracted with that they are not.
There could be.
Gotcha.
Out of 200, there certainly could be.
Yeah, okay.
Which ones, I have no idea.
Yeah.
So I think in general, the board, I'm not speaking for the board, but I think we wanted to see, is there something that we can provide the employees at a better cost and at a better coverage? And as a whole, based on our current plan, do you believe that we can provide better rate and coverage on a few different lines than what we currently have in place?
Well, I can tell you that in my 13 years of doing that, and I manage 35 districts in the greater Houston area, I've never gone into a district and not been able to improve the benefits and match the cost, or improve the benefits and lower the cost across the board. And I think it's our process. I think it's that competitive process, really making the carriers work to earn your business. And then, drilling down the competition even on those best and finals. I think our process, it's not me. I'm nothing special, but I just think the process that we use and the relationships that we've built have worked very well.
Well, just in 5 days, we found a few things that we could do better, so that's all I got.
Anyone else?
No?
Thank you.
Again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Karen said she was having a little trouble hearing. She couldn't get on it. She said it's hard to hear, but I think it's because she was just a little bit.
Good evening, guys.
Good evening.
Thank you for having me. My name is Matt Almendares. I'm the regional manager for First Financial. Just a little bit, but I only have been with First Financial for 27 years now. I'm going to go over those 4 or 5 questions and kind of hit on them. That's probably what we'll spend the most of our time doing. But I think it's also fair just for you as the board to kind of know exactly a little bit about First Financial.
you guys hear our name, but do you really, do you know anything about who we are and what we actually do on a daily basis with Porte ISD? So I'm going to go into that a little bit, but the majority of the time, we will spend it on looking at how we look for products. You guys are part of a cooperative, so that's kind of a little bit different angle that we're going to take on that. So we're going to go over that real quick, all right? And I will try and keep this as short as I possibly can. I know you guys have things to do. Who was it that has the anniversary?
Way to go, Colin. Let it go. I'm still thinking of you. I love you, baby.
Just kind of our partnership goals that we have, and we've always had at First Financial. One, obviously, benefits advocate. With the knowledge that we have going out there trying to find the best benefits for the school districts that we represent. A lot of part of that also is obviously saving money is a big deal, which we always try and do. I think Monica said it best, the lowest price isn't necessarily the best product, right? So we always have to take that into consideration. One of the other things, just benefit administration, that's the other part of what we do. We make sure that what we're doing for the people that have to deal with it on a daily basis is working for them. Whether it's EDI files going back and forth to the insurance companies, the billing process, that has to work as well. That's a huge deal for us. And then the employee enrollment support. Going out, seeing your employees face to face, which we do every year. We're given certain days by the district to come out, sit down with the employees, those that want to sit down with us. Have a large group, I'd probably say maybe 60-40, 60% of them probably do it on their own. 40% still would like to come in and sit down and actually talk to somebody. Some of them like to call the call center and just do it over the phone. They have that option there with us. That's also a huge deal for us, and just educating the employees on what's going on within the district as far as their benefits go. Okay, so as I said, we've been doing this since 1966. We are the oldest TPA in the state of Texas when it comes to the K-12 market. Okay, it's because we're the oldest, doesn't make us the best, but we have been doing it longer than most people. I will tell you that not a good portion, a lot of the different companies that are out there have modeled some of the things that we started, whether it was the one-check billing system that we started years ago, kind of done that. And a lot of those people have come from First Financial and gone off and started other companies, okay? So just let you know that foundation there has always kind of started with us, so, okay? And then with that, also benefit consulting, administrative solutions, as I said, enrollment services, and also the other portion of that investment option, which I'll go into here in a minute, that we also do for you guys as well, through a partnership with you guys. So, you guys, with Porte ISD, are part of the Omnia Co-op, okay? So the Omnia Co-op is probably one of the largest cooperative in the country, okay? Now, it's not just benefits, it's a lot of other things. Most school districts probably are part of the Omnia Co-op, not necessarily with the benefits portion of it. You may be buying paper from it. You may be buying, air conditioners, whatever it may be. Most districts are part of the Omnia Co-op, and we are the Omnia Co-op broker and Section 125 handler of that, okay? So just a little bit about us. As I said, we have about 550 school systems and government entities, 420 here in Texas. We're in different states. New Mexico, Arizona, Louisiana, North Carolina. We don't have that still here out of Houston. Our home office is here in the Houston area. Okay, so the whole Omnia deal, how this happened, we acquired TCG. TCG actually handles TCG okay? They actually handle your investments, 403Bs, 457s, okay? They are the person you guys go to. They've always been incredibly good at the investment portion of it. Over the years, because of their relationships with superintendents, CFOs, some of those people started saying, hey, why don't you do the payroll 125 as well? They did it, kind of apprehensively, but they did it nonetheless. Well, as time started going by, they realized that's not really what they're dealing with. And so they came to us, we came to them, and we partnered together with them. So what we did, we acquired their 125 business of the districts they had. In doing so, they introduced us to the Omnia Co-op, which they then, went out to bid and selected First Financial to handle the 125 business of the Omnia Co-op. Okay? Just want to give you all a history on why we're actually here and why things are working the way they do. Let's see here. Okay, so all of that, obviously, First Financial, we have fully licensed account managers. You actually have an account manager assigned to you. That's Joe Quijada. He deals with the benefits office on a daily basis. Customer service rep that deals with your office on a daily basis. And as I said right here, the Omnia Co-op currently has 43 districts and a total of 120,697 employees are under that co-op here in the state of Texas. Okay, so, as I said, the nation's largest TPA, and we're the approved TPA broker of record for that. There's no cost to be in it. There's nothing the district has to pay for to do anything for this. Whether you get some free benefits, either FinPath, I believe you guys have FinPath out here. It's offered to the employees for free. It's just a financial wellness plan. Just if they have questions, they can go and start asking people about whether it's investments, whether it's just different things about their finances. This is also part of the Region 10 403B and 457 plan that's on what they call the RAMP program. 89,000 public agencies are in the Omnia Co-op throughout the country, okay? So you're part of a big group, you really are. So you are getting some good pricing if it comes down to that, based on the total amount of people that are part of the Omnia Co-op. Now, just for transparency's sake, here's what Omnia partners do. They go out to bid every 3 to 5 years for the first financial for the job that we do, okay? So we have been picked for the last 3 times that have gone to bid to come back and be their 125 broker for that. And then every 2 to 3 years, they go out to bid for the actual insurance company. In a couple of slides, you're going to see all the different companies that are part of the Omnia Co-op. These insurance companies that goes out nationwide, they come in and try and get into the cooperative. And then from there, they make a decision on these companies, and then the district of course, have the choice to pick these other companies that they're selecting. Just as an example, you guys would tell us our dental plan, we don't like it, okay? And the cooperative, 5 different companies you can choose from. We then tell them, so this is kind of that question about the process, right? We then tell them, okay guys, report, here's all their information, here's their claims history, here's what's going on. Here's their plan set. We send it to the 5 companies, we send them a spreadsheet, you guys fill all this out. They send it back to us, we then analyze all that information, and then come down and sit to the district and say, okay, here's what we found, here's what we found. Here's our recommendation, here's what we think. End of the day, all those companies were basically battling for your service, okay, and to get your business. That's kind of how that works here. But we'll go to that here in a minute. You can get some more. Okay. All right. Just a little bit more about the co-op itself. All the things that fall underneath that, they make sure that we are following all the rules as well as IRS rules, Department of Labor rules, those types of things like that. As I said, we manage the co-op, but it's not what we call a light co-op. Some co-ops are like this. I'll just give you an example. You're part of the co-op. Here's your medical part, here's your dental plan, and here's your company. Here's your vision plan, here's your company, critical illness plan. It is a co-op, it is, but you don't really have a lot of choices. You kind of, this is what we're giving you, okay? So this is what I call it, it's not a co-op light, okay? 30 different providers that you guys can choose from all the different companies, and I'm going to give you a list here in a minute, you're going to see it here in a second. And as I said, list of current, in the next, every 3 to 5 years, they'll go out to bid, those companies have the opportunity. Those that didn't get in 3 years ago, they have the opportunity to do it again, okay? So here we go. Currently, in the co-op right now, dental PHMO plans. These are the companies 3 years ago, and I'll tell you this, they just went out to bid again for all the companies. So as of January, there might be more companies in there. Might be some companies that didn't make the cut this year. And just to let you know, the people that make those choices on the companies that come in, they're based out of Region 4, here in Houston. So it's a committee that's set up by Region 4. So dental PHMO plans, Cigna, you may not have life, right? Dental PPO plans, you see you have all those choices there. Now currently, if I'm not mistaken, you guys are with Emeritus on the vision plan, correct? Yeah. So on that, prime example right here, let's say we're coming to me, we're getting a lot of calls from employees. They don't like that vision plan. There's something going on there. Okay. We have a choice here. We can go up, get all the information to all these other companies, like Humana, Scanner, Unum. Tell them, guys, this is the plan set up here, the claims histories, all that kind of stuff. They come back to us. I would then go back to the benefits office. This is what we found. Now, just to let you know, we don't like to do this, but every once in a while we do understand, even though the companies that made this cut, they're all large companies. We are appointed with over 90 companies, right? Yes, answer that question, we could be appointed with 290 if we wanted. We do have a criteria, not only in the co-op, but for financial, they have to be A- or above. We're not going to deal with anybody who's below A- by AM Best, period. Okay? And so all of these companies, obviously financially sound. That's one of the other reasons why we picked them. We want to make sure the company can pay the claims, right?
Is that ever changed though, like, we talk about cancer, like, you have two companies listed, can that number increase, or is it every?
Oh, no, it could definitely increase, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Yes, it could increase, yeah. So we'll find out. I guess it's a bid process just ended. They will probably make, if they haven't already made the selection, probably January 1, January 2, we'll probably find out. There's a good chance there may be 4 cancer plans out there, or cancer companies out there, right? And there's a good chance that American Fidelity won't be there anymore. Now, just to say that too, just because they're changing here, does not mean that you guys have to change what you already have. I'll give you an example. On the Delta PPO, or the Dell PPO, you don't see Delta, right? Delta down, large company. Delta didn't make that cut that last time. So, but because you guys were already with them, and I believe from what they heard from the employees, they like the plan, they like the price, you get to stay with it. So I'm saying you're not just, I'm stuck with all these things because they make a change, doesn't mean you necessarily have to make that change as well. But you're given several options here, okay? That's the biggest part about it. Any questions on that?
So when they take it out to bid, this co-op or this group of folks, is it based on service and cost, or is it based on what our prior histories were as a group of co-op?
Service or coverage? Service or coverage?
I'm talking, well, actually, it's a 2-point question. First of all, service, and then coverage.
Well, yeah, well, they're going to look at all the things. One, I wish I had a sheet actually of all the different things that they go through when they're looking at the actual company. They will look at service. How quickly are claims being paid?
Right.
How quickly are calls being returned, those types of things. We're going to look at their financials. I mean, how stable are they as a company? I was talking about AM Best ratings and stuff like that. We're going to look at all those things, and that's how we're going to decide who makes that. And there's a whole list of things that the committee at Region 4 has to go through in order to come up with those companies. It's a long list of questions. It's a long, big process. I know though that throughout the course of the time when we're not out to bid, or that Omnia Co-op's not out to bid, we have tons of companies coming to us asking, when are y'all going to do that again? We'd like to get on that list. So, did that help? Okay. Okay. So, basically, let's go back to the process. As I said, it's all done through the cooperative. Now, at any time, obviously not every district that First Financial has is in the Omnia Co-op, okay? At any time, if the district were to say, we want to get out of that and kind of do this all along, we can do that too. That's not, when we came to you guys were actually already part of the co-op. I think y'all might have been one of the first people to actually join the Omnia Co-op here in the state of Texas. So, but at any point, if the district comes to us and say, hey, let's just kind of just check it out. We can look at the whole thing outside of the co-op all by itself.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Did you figure out how long we've been with?
Well, I know with us, 2016. Okay? Well, that's when we purchased the, as I told you, the TCG, section 125.
Okay.
So, in 2016, we purchased that, and then with our partnership with TCG, we came in here to,
So TCG had it before?
yes, they did.
So, okay, in theory, it's been a little, do we know how long we were with TCG? No?
So long.
But that's kind of how that process works. As far as the timing of that, and it kind of alluded to the very beginning, every year we do come out and do what we call a pre-enrollment meeting. We look at all the stuff, all the things. Every benefit that we have, we go through that with them. What are you hearing? What's not good? What's not bad? Obviously, throughout the course of the year, we'll probably hear it too, because we're getting a lot of calls. And Joe Quijada is getting that call. think, hey, follow this thing on this, and I haven't heard anything on it. Okay, let's go call the insurance company, see if we can figure it out. So we'll do a pre-open enrollment meeting probably around January, February. Whatever changes the district asked us to make, we gotta make those changes. We'll come back in and set up the enrollment dates, show them what changes we brought back to them, and then usually right around enrollment time, those changes have already been implemented. The case has been built so the employees can enroll in those new products or deleted products, wherever they may be. Okay? And as far as the products, I know that there was that one question, can we add products or offer a product outside of the actual enrollment time? Of course we can. That's something you always be done. Depending on the product too, right? I mean, if it's a product that has to be paid down on pre-tax basis, well then no. You can't change the down payment, because you've already signed up for that, and that's a pre-tax deduction. You can't just change that in the middle. You'll have to wait till the next year. But there are certain plans we can.
So, after the 3-year bid process goes out, so these carriers could change. So instead of American Fidelity under the cancer plan, we may have 2 different people under the cancer plan options?
It's very possible, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And like I said, I don't have access to look at that because they haven't released out, but they did go out to bid, so I don't know exactly if it has changed. Every time they go out to bid, there's not a whole lot of deletions, but there ends up being a lot, they'll end up adding some more. Most of the companies that are there haven't done a bad job. There's probably some that end up getting maybe more business because they just have better, they just come in with a stronger plan, better benefits, and sometimes better rates. We very rarely do we see some of them fall out of it. We usually see more come on it. Every once in a while, there will be some that will say, we're not going to do it. We're not going to bid it this time, for whatever reason that they may have. But for the most part, they'll go in there, and we'll see most of the companies stay there. And always somebody new. There's always going to be a couple of new ones on it that we may not have had. But yeah, you can go through all of them. Cancer plans, critical illness plan, and critical life insurance. We were talking about earlier. They're a very good company. They have a really good life insurance plan out there. You guys do have the ambulance transport that Moss said that we were talking about. That is available to the district at any time. They want to throw that in there. As I said, you guys have right now the identity theft, when you actually do have that, but the employer pays for that on their own, or the employee pays for that on their own. Okay. Remember, because I told you being part of the Omnia co-op, you could get the identity theft or the FinPath, and I think the district chose the FinPath, which is financial, wellness plan. Okay. Couple little things here, so almost done right now. Just, obviously, as I told you before, benefits advocates, we're a full-service broker, is what we are. We try to limit that non-buying co-op, whether it's through the Omnia co-op, or through just the pure amount of people that we have, and the different districts that we have throughout the state of Texas, and in the other states that we're in. The menu can be as large as you want. I'll agree with Monica on that. You guys do actually have a good benefits package. I mean, you guys do offer a lot out here. There are some districts that are like, I'm going to offer these main 5 things or that thing. But you do give your employees a lot of choices, which is always a good thing, okay? And yes, I do understand you want to compete with, or you have to compete with the districts around you. And I started out trying to make sure that you guys are as close as you can possibly be, or if not better, than those districts out there. And we can tailor those benefits packages just for you guys. Like I said, at any point, if you were to tell us, we're not really cold and I'm trying to see what we can do on our own, we can always look at that as well.
Whenever you're sending stuff back to the district, can you pop back a slide, sorry?
Sure.
Say this, so this sheet was fairly helpful, like that showed all the different things. Whenever you come back, are you showing our benefits team, okay, American Fidelity and MetLife under the cancer plans, these are the rates and these are the coverages?
Sure.
And in this case, American Fidelity happen to be better, or how does that work?
Yeah, we will spreadsheet it, just like I believe that Monica had a spreadsheet, we'll lay it side by side, probably 4 or 5 different companies. And we'll just say, and what we do is we send out that spreadsheet out to the company. They see exactly what it is that they have to match, or the questions. We'll say, these are all the things we need you to do. They'll bring it back to us, we've been laid side by side with all the other ones. Now, they said, we'll make a recommendation, but at the end of the day, we'll bring it to the benefits department and they'll make that choice. But yes.
When we're in the co-op, do we lose that feature of kind of like what they said, a best and final, or on some of these things, do they still go back, or is everything negotiated whenever you go into the co-op?
Oh, no. Okay, so, and maybe I didn't explain it well. Let's just give you an example. Let's say we want to look at a new gap or hospital indemnity plan. All 5 of these companies are sent the information, hey, report's going out to bid on that, right? They'll send it back to us. We'll look at it, and we can also say, hey guys, it's still not looking good. And give them another opportunity to do that, and then they'll come back. Now, they know, and they already know who they're going to be fighting against already. They know exactly, they can look at the same sheet that you guys are looking at here. So, the whole point of it is that, one, they're in, they're getting an opportunity that maybe some other companies aren't, but they know they're going to have to compete for that business. So, yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I was just like that. The co-op is just kind of interesting to me.
Yeah.
Because, in theory, if you went out for, I don't know, telemedicine, I don't know what, and there was 6 different carriers, well, they are able to go back and forth, but when they're in this co-op under telemedicine, well, yeah. So, in theory, the co-op is saying this is the best option we can provide, and they're all submitting them prior to the co-op picking what they're going to do?
Sure, yeah. So, and at that time, when we did it, I mean, they're probably, I'm sure that, I mean, I know that we probably work with, not just within the co-op, but outside of the co-op, at least 3 different, telemedicine companies.
Yeah, I mean, I picked a horrible one.
But they're a bunch out there.
And for lack of a better word, there has to be at least an industry standard that
Sure.
you're all looking at before you start saying.
Oh, before they start making, sure.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And that's a very good point. And that's exactly what I do. And it may be, and it also could be also, I mean, just, well, we may have been the only one that actually put the bid in for it. That's very possible, right? Sometimes people just don't want to mess with that. I mean, just being honest with you.
How does the co-op work with, I think we mentioned earlier in the other presentation, they have offered, in certain cases, 3 to 4 year rate guarantees. Is that the same scenario with a co-op?
Exactly. It's exactly the same thing. So, if we were to go, and usually you get your rate guarantees and stuff like that, usually on like the dental and vision plan. As Monica said, your critical illness plans and gap plans, stuff like that, those rates are pretty much set. Okay? I mean, they're pretty much stuck in there for a good amount of time. It's these other plans, dental vision that we're looking at. So yes, what we would go to them too, and they're all going to come back. I mean, they know that every other vision plan or vision company out there is going to give some type of rate guarantee. They just don't know how long, right? So they're going to try and, one, get the rates where they need to be, build the products the way they need to be built. Because they'll be able to see that, we'll share with them the plan that you guys currently have. So they know they have to beat that, right? And then that's when it starts going there. So I can come back to the district and say, hey, great plan, rates look great, only got 2 year rate guarantee. Consider plan, maybe a couple cents more, it's 3 years. So that's a decision we're gonna have to make right there. That's a very good question. Anything more on that? Okay, good. Okay. Let's do that. We'll just, like I said, this is just so I can let you guys understand kind of the other things that we do out here. We review the benefits, as we just talked about the cooperative arrangements. There are other co-ops that we're part of as well. And as I said, not every district that we do business with is part of a co-op. Some of them just go it alone, and that's completely fine. But, as I said, most districts are probably part of the Omni co-op already. They just don't know it, and it probably isn't just in the 125, okay?
So when you look at the Porte, and we're talking about a benefits package, are we generally falling into a category of a 5A district with 7,000 to 10,000 students, or is it just all over the place? Or we could be compared to a district with 50,000? I mean, I'm just trying to figure out where do we fall on the continuum.
Sure, it comes to service. Actually, when it comes to the benefits that you guys have, I mean, as I said, you guys have actually some things more that other people don't have. FinPack is actually a really good thing that you guys, through the co-op, you guys give your employees. That's not everything, right? But you have a pretty good, robust amount of choices for your employees. So I'd say, and I don't know if you can compare it to a size, there are some districts that are way larger than you guys that don't offer the amount of choices that you guys give your employees. So it's kind of, it's hard to put it in one deal and say, well, districts this size usually do this, district this size usually does that. It's really, at the end of the day, it comes to what, you know the pulse of your employees more than anybody else. You know what they want and what they need. And we kind of rely on that. And obviously, by us being out there and seeing the employees on a yearly basis for their enrollment, they see that same face, Joe Quijada, every year. They kind of get used to them. They start talking to them. Joe will probably come to the benefits office. Hey, I'm hearing a lot of this going on now. So, it's always going to be different. So, but that's a great question, though.
The 420 government entities that FFGA works with, how many of those are schools in Texas?
Well, 420, that is schools. That was schools.
Okay.
The other 89,000, well, that was just closing on the co-op. I think there's the number there for that, right?
Yeah, well, on this one, it says something.
720 in Texas, 550 systems and government entities.
There you go.
Yeah, it's a government entity, so I wasn't sure if you did a lot with cities too, or what you did.
We do handle some cities, we do. And that's really probably, we've had some cities for a long time. It's just a little bit different when it comes to cities, to kind of tell you that.
So pardon my, like I said, my limited knowledge on this field. But clearly, if you're working with these groups, and this is going to be to either of you, are you just noticing every year rate increases? And because what this board is trying to do, and what we're trying to do with our team, is we're trying to balance this to where when active care goes up, and the board's trying to take care of the employees, you're trying to figure out where they stand, just to help the employees from becoming insurance rich, but livable poor. And I think that's really part of it.
And we do see that,
People have good insurance, but, it's hard to make business.
and that's the hard part about it. When we come down and sit with employees, and sometimes employees will want to just purchase this and purchase.
The microphone.
Oh, I'm sorry. There you go. They sometimes want to purchase, almost everything they can, but we have to sometimes tell them, like, you still have to come on with a paycheck too, right? But to your point, yeah, we do see that. Every year. And it's primarily the medical stuff that goes up that we see going up more and more. Dental, yeah. But think about it. Those two are probably the most highly utilized plan that you can offer your employees. People just use it. People use their dental, they're going to use their medical. And I know that you guys obviously were looking at some other medical options. And I know that Victor, obviously you were on the call with Victor, that we kind of looked to see what would be best for you guys. And just so you know, everybody is doing it. I mean, everybody's at least looking to see what those options are. And I wish I had some magical answer to say, this is the thing, this is the way to fix it. I think it's just something that we have to on a yearly basis kind of look at that.
So, I know you mentioned that we have a robust plan. You mentioned, both of you guys have mentioned the ability to kind of be competitive with other surrounding districts. Is your assessment that we are pretty good to go? Do you have any areas that you'd identify we are, in fact, maybe lagging a little bit compared to, say, Deer Park or whoever around?
I think that Deer Park, and we actually have the luxury of having somebody who's at Deer Park, that you probably know. I think that you guys, with the districts around you, I think you're comparable to them, if not better than a couple of them, as far as what you offer, and without throwing out names, okay? But no, I mean, I think, like I said, it all depends on the district. Some districts just, they're kind of, they're in their way, stuck in their way. This is the way they want things done. Don't really like a lot of change or to add anything new. This is all the things I want to offer my employees. Well, that's right, and we'll do that for you. But as I said, I do believe when it comes to what you guys are doing in this area, because we do handle probably 4 districts surrounding you guys, right around. I would say yes, you're right where you should be. Can we always add more? Can we improve it? Of course we can. And that's what we try and do every year when we come back in January or February and start talking about the upcoming year.
And the hardest thing is, it's not just improving what we offer, it's in offering great services and products and benefits. But again, it's keeping the cost down.
Exactly.
Because what I hear, nobody's complaining about the benefits. It's the cost. And I don't think anybody in here is driving that cost. The cost is driving because of all the other external factors that we're dealing with.
That's right. Correct.
And so that's really one of our goals, searching goals here, is how do we get the same benefits or even more, but at a cost where our employees don't feel like they have to give even more to just sustain it and to retain it.
Yeah, and I think that
Baby thing was.
the cost, the cost of everything is in the eye of the spender, right? So, to Jeff's point earlier, if someone is going through maternity and does have, that very hefty expense, and it's kind of a one-time, couple-time thing, just depending, that might be something that they decide to do for a limited time, like a lot of people do, and then back off, them having the option to do things, and just having options that are relevant in their lives, because we, can only offer them so much, but as long as they have something offered and they can afford it for whatever time, they might drop something else for the time being to cover something else. That's their budgets,
That's exactly right. And I think that's, you're probably alluding to like a disability claim, yes. Yeah, somebody's, there are those years of that happens. Now, I will always tell them, well, still need to keep it even though the kids are, or you're not having children, because but I do understand that, and you're right, that does happen quite a bit. And I think that's, yeah.
That's what I did.
Okay, so these are obviously the different product offerings that we can offer. There's so many more. I think you saw there on the deal with the, pet insurance. I don't think we offer that out here, but we can. I mean, that's one of those things that's kind of popular out there, but yeah, once again, we won't really have to. You asked about it. Why don't you offer pet insurance? Well, you could if you wanted. So, how much time here, guys? Just the administration part of it, just as I said, the 403B, 457 administration, FSA, all those things are the things that go on behind the scenes, right? The benefits office, the payroll office, those are the things they deal with on a daily basis. Which we have to make sure those are working as well. I mean, it's not just one thing, it's all the things at one time. We are daily educating employees as much as we can. Also with the mobile app, with EBC, which we call the Employee Benefit Center, the employees have access to that 24/7, 365 days. It's always updated. If they ever need to get forms, whatever they need, they can always go there and get that information. Obviously, they have Joe Quijada, myself, that they can call at any time. The online enrollments, they're assisted or they're on their own. Like I said, I believe about 60% of your employees that will probably do it on their own. There's still about 40% that for whatever reason, they just want to sit down and talk face-to-face with somebody. Sometimes there's a language barrier there. Fortunately for us, Joe speaks Spanish, so he's always had a lot of the employees know that, hey, Joe's going to be here on these certain days. I'd rather do it in Spanish. I'm going to come sit down and talk to him. Or some of them don't have access to the internet or access to the computer, so they need to sit down with somebody. As I said, on site, by phone, online, however you guys do it, or want it done, that's the way we actually do handle it out here on a yearly basis. Big on education, these are different materials that we send out. Prior to the enrollment, we sit down with the benefits office. What is it that you want to communicate this year to the employees? What do you want to do it via text, which we do? Do you want to do it via, sometimes we have postcards that go out to the employees. Hey, don't forget, your enrollment's coming up. These are some things, if you're going to sit down with somebody, some things you might need to bring with you. And then we continue to do that and send it out to them as much as we can, because we want to make sure the employees, one, understand what's being offered, and two, we need to make sure that they get it done too. And, just like anything, you're going to have the people who wait till the last minute. But whatever the information is, I'm sorry, somebody have a question? Okay. We get that information out there to them as much as we can.
Yeah, are those things that like the cost to FFGA?
Yeah, that's all that. That's all that.
Something that other brokers do? Is that?
That's true.
Yeah. None of the things that we talk about here is there's an expense for the district, for any of the services or anything at all. Okay, as I said, your management system, that's just your enrollment system, which is what we call FFenroll. Your employees utilize that this year. It's a really good plan. It's actually done by a company called Solaris out of McKinney, Texas. They have tons of companies and school districts out there that utilize their benefit enrollment system. The Employee Benefit Center, as I said, your employees can go here year-round, look at all the benefits that they have, file claims, however they want to do it. This right here, not going to spend a lot of time on it, but as I said, one of the things in the background that really help out your payroll people and your benefits people when it comes to the actual billing of all these things. We try to do our best to make sure we have the right processes in place to make it as easy as possible. What we don't want to do is come in and make the benefits officer, the payroll office, make their job harder. We're here to make it easier for them. And that's, I think, one of the things that we do a really good job at on that service part of it. That's a FFGA mobile app. Everybody's got an app now for almost everything, but we can do that. We can have that as well. They can enroll on those plans. They can learn all their benefit cards and kind of share provider information. Obviously, contact information is always there for our home office, Joe Quijada, or whoever it may be. This right here, vaccine thing, is what we call a compare tool. It just makes it a lot easier for the payroll people when they're trying to pay the bill and making sure that everything's matching up. Obviously, that's done through a one-check billing system, which everybody does that. But just this tool we have just makes it, you're not going to be paying something, and you're going to know it's right, because that tool has gone through and says, okay, we've spent out the things that aren't right on this bill, here's exactly what you should be paying, and it will match up exactly with what the carrier should be receiving.
Does the district pay FFGA a fee, or are we only making commission on the product we sell?
Great question, and yeah, just for clear transparency, FFGA receives a commission from all the different companies, right? And then that comes back to First Financial, who then pays myself, pays Joe Quijada, pays for all the different things that we do. So no.
But there's not a consulting fee that
No, there's no fee, not a fee at all. The only thing that is charged, that we do the COBRA for you guys, right, for certain products, but that's not even on the district, that's on that former employee that left. It was a 2% fee that they have to impose on that. Okay, so the FSA, HSA administration, we do all that too behind the scenes, the claims processing, all that's done there at First Financial, okay? COBRA, we do the COBRA administration for you guys, and as I said, there's a 2% fee on that. Other than that, that's about it. 403B and 457 administration and offerings that's done through TCG, our partnership through them. And I can't tell you about how well they do when it comes to that. When your employees have questions, those that have a 457 or 403B, their system, the way it works, they make it so easy for them just to get online or make a phone call and get their stuff processed. They need to increase, decrease, whatever it is. They have a really, we're good at it, but they were actually they're incredible. They really work really well with that. And I think you guys have been with them for so long, they've just kind of always been ahead of everybody else when it comes to the 457, 403B plans out there.
Is this something that other, we're hearing things here, and then we have presentations, we're not going to have you go through that kind of questions, but is that something that other people do too? I mean, is this some 403B and 457? So many acronyms and I don't know what the hell's going on. Yeah, but that's something that we can do, Ingeborg could do.
Yeah. And the very last, this way, we help you guys out when it comes to the ACA reporting. A lot of the information that you have within the FF enroll system, we will pull that from that and then give it to whichever company you guys have decided to go with on that ACA reporting. It's fun stuff that thankfully none of us have to worry about, but that office does. Yeah, so we got that for y'all. Yeah, it's just, yeah. And one of the last things that we do offer, not actually doing it out here, but we would like to start at some point, but that we kind of found, we get calls at every school district, they get calls from the people that are aging up to that 65. Hey, what am I going to do? What do? We send them to the TRS website, kind of figure out it out. Because nobody here at the school district really knows, Medicare's not easy stuff to do, right? It's a long process. So we have now added that to any district that wants us to do that. We will have those conversations with those employees. They just contact us. We'll get them to the one. Now we're basically there just to help them make that decision. Am I going to go on Medicare? Am I going to stay on the TRS, outside of the school district? But it's just having that information there for them, and it's huge. And obviously we have a huge group of people right now that are hitting that age 65. The whole baby boomer population is there right now. So we get a lot of calls from school districts like, we don't know what to tell them. Like, we'll just have them give us a call. We'll get them going in the right direction. And they may not do any business with us, but at least they can make the good educated decisions that they need to make at that time. Okay? Any questions? Okay, this is our team. You got stuck with me today. Danny Anthony, who's our consultant, she actually does when it comes to the actual products, looking and going in and just pulling them apart and making sure everything looks right. She does that for us. I'm a regional manager here in the area. Karen Core, who is actually the manager of the co-op for us. So she's the one talking, she and Nate are meeting with those companies at all times saying, hey, you need to do a better job with this, looking at pricing and those types of things. Joe Quijada, your account manager, and then Grayson Goldie, who's your CSS. Those two at the end probably do the bulk of the work on a daily basis with the benefits and payroll teams here. That's all I have, guys. A lot of information I know for you guys kind of, if y'all want to see how it's done, you go to sleep at night, read that presentation, it'll put you to sleep real quick.
I think, and first of all, thank you. Thank you, and thank you for being here, Molly. Thank y'all so much. I think, and the board certainly is going to have other closing comments. First of all, thank y'all for coming out. Thank you, Stacy, for kind of helping to get all of this together. Our ultimate goal is, as I've said now probably 3 or 4 times throughout the evening, we are noticing over years an increase and increase and increase. And we're not saying that the benefits are not quality and that we're not getting wonderful, benefits for what we're doing. But at some point, our goal, and my goal as superintendent is to, as we go into the negotiating this next wave, is to have a way that where if we could walk away with our employees saving $150, $200, and I don't mean to shoot low, but I'm just saying, and I don't know if that can happen, but this would have been worth its while on either side. I think that's the board's goal, that's my goal, that's our goal, is to offer great benefits, but we also have to make certain that we are not pricing out, because all employees are not at the administrative level, or at the counselor level, or at the teacher level even. I mean, some of them are bus drivers, and cafeteria staff, and maintenance workers. And so their salaries are low, but those benefits costs are same. And so I appreciate y'all coming out, and we want to just take it with a fine-tooth comb and just spend some time really combing through what we offer and how can we continue to offer the best services, but how can we also cut costs wherever we can. Sure.
Yes, thank you so much for getting here at such short notice. That was a request that we made last week, and we just don't want to leave any stone unturned. We can only offer, merit increases so much, and we've got to look at every tool in our tool belt to try to be different and a point of different for all the other districts and then our team members, obviously. 2 things we talk about at work all the time is trust but verify, obviously, and that's why we've got to have these conversations. And then second is complacency is the enemy. So everybody can kind of become creatures of comfort, and so I think it was important that we had this discussion tonight, and I appreciate you both getting out here at such short notice for us. A lot of information to digest. You guys?
I'll be back on that. Again, we sincerely appreciate y'all coming out and talking to us. This was very educational for me, and again, I really appreciate the time you guys took. I have a question since we have them present. I hate to put you guys on the spot, but Frankie and Lupe, y'all, between the two of y'all, 30+ years experience with Porte ISD, and I'm just wondering, in your time here, have we ever gone out for bid, ever, with TCG? Have you been a part of it where you've seen us go out and bid other providers, ever? Perfect.
Yes, we used to have Dan, he would go out, and we didn't personally go out ourselves. They would like.
A consultant would come in? Okay. So that's what I'm getting at. I mean, I appreciate saying that. Obviously we have 2 phenomenal, y'all seem to be number 1 and 2 in terms of the number of districts y'all serve in the state of Texas, and y'all must be doing something right. And so we've known you guys a long time, so obviously you're doing something right for us. But to Danny's point, I think he said, trust but verify. And my thing is, you don't know what you don't know. Mr. Almendarez, it was interesting in your presentation, on your first slide said you guys have to go out every 3 to 5 years, right? So that 30-year period, our district should have gone out 6 to 10 times if we had the same standard that you guys had. And that's where I'm coming from. I live in a world, whether it be my personal finances or certainly the businesses that I represent, the Chamber of Commerce, we have to go out on a consistent basis and figure out what we don't know. And more times than not, hopefully our providers are amazing. And you guys obviously, I hope they're doing a great job for us, but I would just like to see us personally, I don't understand why we're not going out and at least talking to some other providers to see what. And so to me, tonight was a very starting point to that. I appreciate you allowing that to happen.
Well, I want to thank you all both for coming. Sorry, my thanks for coming on your anniversary. You and Jeff can talk about how horrible that was after the meeting. Really? Maybe y'all want to be around me, but y'all can
Y'all take a picture together and submit together. See, it's like the same thing.
Well, I like to think that, there's reasons there's different companies, and there's reasons that some people do things better. There's a reason there's two different companies here today. Y'all each do something different, y'all do some things the same, y'all have different services, y'all provide different services, and I think it's important that the board look at both of those options, and so certainly appreciate both of you coming and giving us that glance into these ancillary benefits. So, thank you.
As a business owner and having gone through the process of changing brokers or shopping brokers and everything just this year, for different reasons, not just on our health benefits, but even on our commercial insurance and stuff too. So I can tell you, it's not a fun process. It's a lot of work. And so I do know that when we have these questions and things like this, the instinct is to, just, okay, but we can, I think we can get a better deal. I think, with who we have, but it is nice to just know the options and know what our employees are looking for. And so even if we don't wait for them to come to us and say, hey, this is what I want, even if they send something out and say, look, we're considering some things. What are some things that you think would benefit you, and get some of their feedback? Because that's not our decision to make as to what they need, right? But they may surprise us, and if we can just have that one thing that sets us apart to what we're offering in our packages, it could make all the difference in the world for someone. So that's where I see and have seen the benefit with my employees, and just. You never know what the outcome will be until you ask. So I appreciate y'all's time for doing this and the time that y'all put into it as well.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Comments from anybody else? No?